everyone, it's me, Miss Capri. I'm back. And I think I'm going to be coming back a little more often now that I'm quite a bit stronger this year than I have been in previous years. I am healing, but I'm not over missing my mom, not by a long shot. I probably never will. I'll probably always um, be a bit broken about that. But I want to thank a couple of people that if I didn't thank in the compliments, I want to thank them for the compliments, but I also want to thank them for the comments that they made because I really appreciate it. Shannon Cook and Tony Wetton, I want to thank you so much for your encouraging and compassionate words. If I didn't get a chance to reply to you two in the comment section of my video that was titled Morning, I want to thank you so much for those comments. It's possible that YouTube doesn't notify me anymore by email when I get comments. I have to check. I have to actually go to the site, go to the YouTube studio and check out the comments. And I hadn't done that for years because I hadn't been on this channel for quite some time because I didn't feel like recording any more music, and I didn't feel like doing anything for a very long time. Plus, I had another battle besides trying to heal, trying to get stronger from the grief of my mom's passing, and the big battle that I had was, and it's still ongoing, and I hope it stops. But I'm handling it, but I don't know if it will ever stop though, because it involves a narcissist that she did all she could to try to wreck the lives of two of my friends and myself. One of my friends I met through her, and she tried to get me to bully this person, and the plan backfired because instead of going after her and bullying her, me and Alyssa became friends. And we became really good friends. And my friend Cindy as well. I met Cindy on a WhatsApp chat. And so Cindy and Alyssa and we were horribly mistreated by this narcissist. And Alyssa was mistreated by her ever since the school days. So longer than Cindy and I were. But Cindy really got she got a pretty rough experience of that in the last year of us communicating. Now the narcissist and us haven't communicated directly with each other for 3 years, but the narcissist still tries to go after me through other people. So she has staged a prolonged cyberbullying campaign. She has given out my number. She's given out other personal information that she knew damn well she was not allowed to give out. When she and I were associating, she knew right from early on that giving out my personal information was not okay. But she did it after we parted ways, and has been bullying me ever since. Not on a daily basis, but a week here and a week there. There might be a couple of calls 1 month, and then 6 months later there might be another couple of messages on WhatsApp, and then another month or maybe even a year later there would be some comments via email. And yes, she gave people my phone number and my email address, people who have no business knowing it. She's given it to them so that they could harass me for her. And you know why? Because of Star Wars. She's convinced these dimwits, these little flying monkeys of hers, that I was trying to force her to give up Star Wars completely. That's a lie. I wanted the Star Wars out of my life. I was sick of it. And by the time my mom passed, I couldn't I couldn't deal with it anymore. This narcissist is a Star Wars addict. She's not just a regular fan. She is addicted to stupid Star Wars and she worships it. She actually told my friend Cindy when her grandma passed, when Cindy's grandma passed, this narcissist told Cindy that her grandma was now one with the Force. And when she broke the news to me, like Cindy was too distraught to really tell anybody. I don't know how come she told the narcissist first, maybe. I think it's because the narcissist was FaceTiming us constantly, and when she couldn't get through to me, she would call Cindy. And so that must have been how she found out before I did that Cindy's grandma had passed. So then she passed the news on to me. But instead of saying, oh, by the way, Cindy's grandma passed on, she said, Cindy's mom, or Cindy's grandma, is one with the Force. Oh, I gave her heck for that. I said, she is not one with the Force. I said, she has passed away. You don't go Star Warsing all over somebody's memory like that. That was a horrible, profane way to treat a real death of a real person who isn't even a Star Wars fan in the first place. But this twitch, she could not leave Star Wars at the door. Oh no, she had to have it with her at all times. Even when dealing with the most serious, and when my mom passed, she sent me a couple of WhatsApp messages. One was completely self-absorbed, and it wasn't just a one-on-one, it was in a WhatsApp group chat. The other one, she did a Yoda-ism. She'd said something about, you're not alone in this, we'll grieve with you. And then she said, or as Yoda would say, alone you are not in this, grieve with you we will. No, and she had not one kind thing to say about my mom. Even though she had talked with my mom on FaceTime quite a few times over the years, she had not one kind word to say about my mom, or even to me about my mom. All she did was pretend to cry and go, this is shocking, this is so shocking, I'm crying myself. No kidding, she actually pointed out in that message that she was crying herself. What the actual... Well, I told her shortly after, I said, I'm not role-playing anymore. I'm not doing Star Wars because the idea makes me sick to my stomach. And I had to go offline and stay logged off my phone for a long time because this girl was so clingy that she called me constantly. If I was off the phone for 6 hours, she would go nuts and she would send me emails, she'd send me texts, so that even on my computer I wasn't safe from her. Are you okay? Did I do something wrong? Are you mad at me? Oh. And then I'd go to check my phone. I would barely get on my phone. And the doorbell sound that I had assigned to her would go off. And I used that sound because it was the least abrasive sound to my ears at the time. But you know what? I got to hate that sound. Because like, oh no, she's just called again. And oftentimes it would be just barely a minute or even seconds. I would just log on and ding dong. Oh my God. I mean, it was so creepy. She was so freaking clingy. And it's because I was her main source of supply. I was her best source of supply for not just simply keeping her entertained, but the Star Wars stuff too. I allowed it because at first, I was never a big fan of Star Wars, but I thought, oh, Star Wars, that's kind of cute. So I indulged her through the COVID years because I didn't have a job at the time and I didn't have any valid excuse to get off the phone. So, oh, the monitor signal's back again. Huh. And the birds are still chirping outside. Wow. Oh, neat. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I love to listen to... Oh, that's something else she did. I'd want to have... During the winter, I like to have the monitor on when I can't be out there so that I can listen for the wildlife, um, especially the squirrels coming to the feeding station to because the monitor is right above the bowl where they get their food. And we've got magpies around here. And magpies are obnoxious and loud, and they're bullies. And I've got this hamster cage that has doors that are a bit too small for them to get through, but the squirrels and the smaller birds can still enter. So that's how I managed to feed the little birds and the squirrels. Mostly the squirrels. Little birds are a little bit more timid, but the magpies can't go in there and eat all my food, and I don't want to feed the magpies. So, but they still squawk and make noise, even in the distance. Well, I complained about the magpies on Facebook to her once, and every time after that, when she'd hear a magpie, and I wouldn't even notice it, she would go, "Oh, magpies!" And one day, she nagged at me so much over it to turn the monitor off. She's, "Can you turn the monitor off because of magpies?" And I had said I want to listen to the squirrels for the squirrels, and then she just kept complaining and complaining. So finally, I just went over to the keyboard where the monitor is. I just stormed over there and um, turned it off, and I came back, threw myself back into the chair none too gently, and said, "There, it's turned off. Are you happy now?" She left me alone after that. But seriously, who did she think she was to tell me to turn the monitor off in my own house? Like, that was my livelihood. No, she wanted to turn it off, and she told my friend Cindy to turn her stuff down too so they could talk. I mean, the entitlement. Oh. And what does she want to talk about? Well, mostly Star Wars crap. Or just her toys. Oh, she could go on and on about her stupid toys. And rearranging her toys whenever she got a new toy. Let's see, should I put my new Luke up with Yoda, or should I put him down with Darth Vader? Well, I don't care what you do with your stuff. I don't know what your room looks like. I don't give a rat's patootie what you do with your stuff. Do whatever. I mean, seriously. Oh, she was childish out the wazoo. And that temper tantrum that she threw when I finally kicked her off my group because she'd Star Wars me on Easter 2023, and she knew damn well she wasn't supposed to, because she had known the previous fall already that we were not going to allow any more Star Wars in our chats. Although that was group chats, and she still tried to Star Wars us singly in our one-on-one chats. And when Cindy and Alyssa and I discovered that was going on, that's when we had to get our act together and work on getting her to stop this crap with us completely. And because she just kept putting Star Wars into our chats and kept wanting to role play, and her role play stunk too. I mean, she was a huge Vader Palpatine fan. I swear, she had the hots for them both. And I hate them both because they're torturing scumbags. So we were having to deal with all that while trying to deal with the deaths of our loved ones, because Alyssa lost her uncle in a pretty tragic way, and Cindy lost her grandma, and then I lost my mom. And then Cindy's lost some friends and a few some relatives since then as well. So Cindy and Alyssa and I, we are really good friends. We've been good friends, and we're going to stay that way. And all of us are good Christians. We are devoted Christians. We're getting closer to God all the time. Where the narcissist is just going down the other way. And she worships Star Wars so bad that she actually says that people that have actually died are now one with the Force. And that's profane. And the tantrum that she threw at Easter when I kicked her off my chat groups because she Star Wars me with her stupid lightsaber. We had a FaceTime chat, and then she thought she could get away with that, with blasting me with her toy lightsaber over the FaceTime. It had sound effects, so she was joking around. She was getting all hyped up, and all of a sudden I said something to, I don't know what I said, and she thought it needed some kind of a response, and all of a sudden she goes, I know where it is, I know where it is, I know where it is. And I thought she was going for her CD player and she was going to play some song that she knew that annoyed me. That's what I was prepared for. Instead, oh no, she blasted me with her toy lightsaber over the phone. So I hung up. And she wouldn't even let me log off the phone. She called back within a second because my phone picked up automatically. I like that feature. It keeps me from having to fumble and try to answer the phone after, a couple of rings or whatever. I find that more convenient than, but I didn't know she was going to abuse that. So it must have taken me about 3 or 4 times to finally hang up the phone. And I was so mad at her for that because damn it. She knew full well that we were not accepting Star Wars. But because it was Easter, she thought that we should make an exception for her because it was a holiday and we should make her Easter special. Never mind the fact that my Easter 2023 was absolutely rotten because I was missing my mom. It was my first Easter that my mom was never coming home. The Easter of 2022, my mom did come home for a while after that Easter, and then she went back into the hospital again. But she was in the hospital over Easter that year. But in 2023, she was gone by then. And I was missing her horribly. And this narcissistic freak expected me to make an exception for her and allow her to Star Wars me because it was Easter, it was a holiday, and I should make it special for her. Oh, F that. So, yeah, I removed her from the group, and she threw a freaking tantrum over that. She was 36, going on 37 at the time. And she threw a tantrum like a 5-year-old. And of course she tried to make all these excuses. Her OCD, her ADD. I know people that have ADD. I know people that have OCD. They don't act like that. They're not addicted to Star Wars. They don't. Yeah. And she even brought up her supposed dyslexia. Where's her dyslexia when she quotes Star Wars? She never gets that backwards. She claimed that she forgot that we didn't like Star Wars because she was enjoying herself so much. No, that doesn't make any sense either. Because she remembers the dates in which she gets toys. She can name the dates of when she got her Cabbage Patch Kids years and years ago. She can name the dates of when she quarreled with this person or that person over this or that. She can name the dates and the times practically of that kind of stuff. So no, she does not forget. She remembered on October 8th, 2022 that I had left an 8.5 long WhatsApp message. And yeah, sure enough, I did. But I with a message to Cindy, and I was talking to her and trying to explain to her how to forward a WhatsApp chat. And I was going into quite a bit of detail. But the narcissist, she somehow took offense to that, and I realized, looking back on that message, that she was probably worried, sick, that Cindy was going to share her chat with me that she had with the narcissist. That's probably why she had a big problem with it. So, yeah. It's really, yeah. The narcissist is very, very childish, and she just kept on trying to fix me. She kept trying to make me laugh. She kept trying to make me come out of my mood. Oh, and one of the most insulting things she ever did to me was make believe that I would just shape up and stop crying and just cheer up when she played a CD. I was on FaceTime with her and Cindy. And I started breaking down because I was missing my mom. This narcissist went rushing over to her CD player, and she started rattling stuff around. Oh, hang on, gotta get the music, gotta get the music, gotta get the music, hang on, music. I was so insulted. I had to yell between my sobs, I don't need music. And Cindy gave her heck too. She said, you don't treat someone like that. She is grieving the loss of her mom. You're not gonna cheer her up and make her stop crying by putting on a CD. And I think the reason this narc had thought that would work was because one time we did listen to a CD and I was calm and I was peaceful. But I wasn't crying then either. And she thought she could just be my hero and my savior and my everything. She thought I needed her a whole lot more, and I didn't need her. I wanted her out of my life at that point. But I was too scared to admit it back then. I was too sorry for her as well. I didn't understand what was going on. I understand a whole lot more now that I've watched a lot of other videos on narcissism and how people who survive narcissistic abuse, the things that they go through. So what I went through and what my other two friends went through was narcissistic abuse. And we had no idea that's what it was until after the fact, until after it all happened. And I'm still going through it. We're still suffering for it. My other two friends, I went through the really angry, raging phase before they did. And they're still working through that. But my intense emotions, they still come back every time I get bullied by some new cyber bullying person. That anger still comes rushing back whenever a new person gets sent after me by the narcissist. But I know how to handle it. I had gotten rid of all the Star Wars stuff that I had collected when I was associating with the narcissist, but I ended up having to buy a few other Star Wars things on the cheap, when I could find them, just so that I could abuse the heck out of them. That's my way of getting my anger and my any other kind of emotion out. It doesn't even have to be Star Wars related. If I'm really excited about something, Star Wars characters are going to get smashed. If I'm really mad about something, Star Wars characters are going to get smashed and tossed. And that's just how it's just how I get the angries out. And then I'm writing a story too that my friends and I we're all participating in it. And it's the narcissist. She's part of the background history, but we're not actually going to confront her in the story itself. We're going to confront Star Wars though. We're going to give Star Wars a huge beating in the story, especially Luke Skywalker and Darth freaking Vader. Ugh. So, and ironically, when I'm really upset, my friend Cindy, she remembers how the narcissist had treated me and how callous she was when I was crying and how she'd even set me off and made me cry, and then tried to get out of responsibility for it. My friend says, when she hears me cry, she gets more and more mad at the narcissist every time she hears me cry, even now. And then we talk a little bit about that, and then I'm able to focus more on that and not how much I miss my mom so much. But if we talk about what the narc did, it can sort of help me to come out of my crying a little bit, which I really appreciate. So in that sense, the narcissist is indirectly kind of helping me but seriously, I did not need her crap right after my mom passed. I didn't even need it before that. But I sure as heck did not, and neither did my friends. They didn't need her crap. Alyssa didn't need to be ignored and just dismissed when she was trying to turn to this person for comfort. Cindy didn't need to be told that her grandma was one with the Force. And I did not need this clingy ditz trying to fix me and make me, put me in a better mood just so that I would play Star Wars with her, because that wasn't going to happen anymore. and then her throwing tantrums at me, and then bullying me a year later when she knew damn well what kind of grief I'd been through. She heard me squalling. She heard me wailing over my mom's passing, because there were some WhatsApp messages where I I just couldn't talk anymore, and I all out sobbed. She heard that. She heard me on FaceTime sobbing. And you know what she said to me one time? On FaceTime, when I was calming down, she said, "I never heard you cry that hard before." What the hell? Really? Oh, oh, she is a sadistic bitch. So yeah, just is it any wonder that I need to smash Star Wars characters? I don't have any right now here to demonstrate, but maybe I'll put some videos in here where I do smash some Star Wars characters, so that you can see what that's all about now. Now that I've explained it. But anyway, besides that, my work is going really well, and everybody else is just a godsend. But yes, I've had a lot to work through over the past few years, and I haven't had much time or energy to devote to trying to record music. Recording music is actually harder than it seems, because you're never satisfied with what you do, or something happens just at the end of a piece of music, and then you botch the ending, or you get interrupted or something, and then you end up having to do a zillion takes, and by the time it's like, oh, I can't do this anymore. I would love to record myself on the job, but I got to figure out how to do that without including pictures of anyone there, which I think I can do. But I also need to get the background sound out of it, so that all anybody hears on these videos is just me playing. Where I work, there's a lot of privacy stuff. It's really secure. You can't just go video. You can't even you can't videotape record demos when there's shows like Christmas shows, winter shows. In front of the parents, they can take pictures of their children after the dance class is over, but they can't use their cell phones during the demos. The flashing lights might distract the children for one thing, and I think there's a privacy thing going on too with that. You can't do it without the school's permission. And I did post a video on here once, thinking that I only captured myself, but apparently the camera captured stuff in the mirror that was behind me too. I didn't think of that, so I almost got in a bit of trouble for that. So I can't do that. I've got to make sure that if I want to record myself, that I somehow get everything else out. But I like to record myself in the middle of an actual performance when I'm actually working, because I don't have any other do-overs, and I can't be thinking about, I got to get this perfect for it. I still do, but it's not as bad, because I'm getting it perfect not just for myself. I'm trying to, I'm working with the class, and somehow when you get into that mode, there's a calm that goes with it that enables you to just keep going no matter what. And but trying to record, and also it's easier to set up over there too. Just put the little recorder on the chair, hit record, and away you go. Hit stop, you're done. That's it. Whereas trying to record from home, take the computer upstairs, plug it into the keyboard, make sure that the volume is right, do a few tests, do a few recordings, erase the recordings, and then start all over and hope you get it correct. And if you don't, keep doing it until you get it correct. Oh gosh, yeah. So that's why I haven't been doing too much music lately. I did try to put some recordings in, I think last year, of me recording myself on my new keyboard upstairs. But I do want to get more music on here eventually. So I'm coming back slowly but surely, but I'll probably come back more with games and stories and stuff, and then I'll put some music in when I can. So that's how things have been going, and I just want to thank you all for your support. God bless you all. And I will talk to you guys in a different video sometime.